In today's video, I thought I would attempt to clarify my position on this thing called colloidal silver and these snake oil kind of remedies that are out all over the internet. I brought up this picture. I kind of created this just to try to illustrate the point. Upper left, vinegar. Now, vinegar you can take and use to disinfect surfaces. Will it kill viruses? Absolutely. Will drinking vinegar cure you of a virus? No, it absolutely won't. Even though it kills viruses on the surface, just drinking it doesn't give you any kind of an immunity to virus, nor will it remove a virus from your bloodstream. Now, Clorox, same thing. Surface, great disinfectant, will kill just about every virus known to man. Should you drink Clorox? No, of course not. Upper right, flame. Flame is a great disinfectant. They use it to disinfect all sorts of surgical stuff and utensils. You know, in a survival situation, this would be the best way to disinfect things. But once again, I suppose you could set somebody on fire and that would be the end of the infection. Same thing with Lysol. It's poisonous, but it will kill viruses. UV light in the middle is known to kill viruses. Purell. Colloidal silver, if you want to take it for the health benefits, by all means, please do. I wouldn't begrudge anybody doing that. If you feel better after having taken it, then by all means, but don't kid yourself. You could probably take it, and from what I understand of it, it is a surface disinfectant. Okay, great, fantastic. But if somebody that you love is infected with a virus, is sick, giving them colloidal silver instead of getting them medical treatment is irresponsible. Or believing that because you drink colloidal silver, you are immune, or you are even protected from that type of an exposure. That's why I put up the I don't know what you would call it, this scenario where if there were a glass of pure colloidal silver, the most powerful colloidal silver you could ever get your hands on, and someone who was visibly sick, visibly infected, drank and backwashed into it. Now, according to the colloidal silver people, it kills the virus, so the backwash shouldn't have any virus in it, right? So you shouldn't have any problem drinking it, right? You see, that's the problem that I have with the snake oil kind of remedies. They overstate their abilities. Now, there's also another issue I would like to cover about the specific virus itself. No one knows who patient 1 is. Nobody knows where patient 1, patient 0, I guess, got the virus. Some people said, well, they probably might have got it from an animal. Where did animal 1, animal 0 get it? See, this is why they are on their highest alert. Where did it come from if it's only transmissible through person-to-person, urine, feces, blood type of contact? How can that possibly be the case when it's being reported over and over and over and over again that most of the new cases aren't tied in any way, shape, or form to the old cases? This cannot, they're saying, cannot be true. And even in 2014, and I'm going to get to that here in a minute, when Ebola got brought back to this country by a doctor and 2 nurses, it couldn't have been true then either. Because they take all sorts of precautions. I mean, they are in what I guess the military would call it MOP 4 gear, top level. I mean, your wrists are sealed, your ankles are sealed, you're in plastic boots. You know, you're completely covered to the point where they have to write your name across your forehead of the thing, the hood that is protecting you. But supposedly it can only be transmitted through direct contact with fluids. That seems like a bit of a high level of precaution for that. Now, I want to show everybody this picture real quick. This is from a Walmart. And this should put any of your colloidal silver arguments to rest. If you were the person that had to use this cart, and you had a choice between disinfecting it with bleach or disinfecting it with colloidal silver, which would you choose? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, also some of you have brought up some more good ideas for not exposing yourself to the virus, which is my solution for this. There are all sorts of things that you can do to mitigate your exposure. Don't fly. Just don't do it. It's recirculated air. If people knew how little air was actually in these planes and how it was recirculated and how many common breaths that you were sharing with all of these dozens and dozens and dozens of people, it only takes one sick person, and that's it. Be the bad guy. Don't let your kids go running around in these play places at these random fast food joints. It's guaranteed way to get them sick, and I mean seriously sick. Obviously, drinking fountains, especially public ones. If you've got to send your kid to school with some type of a container of water, I mean, whatever is acceptable. I mean, give them something at least if they have to use these things to somehow disinfect the spout. But tell them to, under no circumstances, unless they're ready to die of dehydration, to use these. Dave and Buster's. Clearly, places like this are just giant factories. Same thing with places to gamble. Casinos. Stay the hell away from casinos. I mean, God knows what all of those handles and places you're touching have been, and people come and from all over the world to gamble in the United States. Same thing with the cruise ships, gambling boats. As much as it's possible, if you've got to get up, if you live in a city, if you listen to the Florida Maquis and you're from someplace, it's summertime in most of the northern civilized world. Get up early and go for a walk. Anywhere where you can be out and away from cloistered environments where people are sharing air. So I would not recommend public transportation. That includes Uber, especially Uber and Lyft. Don't get into those cars. Those guys don't clean the backs of those cars. People come and go. You have no idea. You have no idea whatsoever. If you're forced to and you have no other choice, make sure you have some kind of a disinfectant with you, some type of a glove you can use to open the door. And don't touch anything while you're in there, especially the interior door handle. The exterior door handle might have the benefit of rain, being rinsed off with the rain, but the interior door handle, God knows. This was the thing I was talking about with the nurses that brought it back to this country. Now, just basic protective gear that every nurse, every medical professional uses, even at your local quick health stop, according to my detractors, would protect from Ebola infection. Just using rubber gloves or plastic gloves or whatever they are, and face masks, even if they're just, if you went in for, to get stitches because you cut your hand open. The very basic level of protection, level 1 protection, according to my detractors, would protect you from this. Yet 2 nurses and a doctor brought it back to this country. How could that possibly be in 2014? Now, they were declared free of the virus, but how did they get it and bring it back here in the first place? Clearly, they were using much more than just level 1 protection over there, yet they still got it. How can this be? And we have this story that I have covered multiple times from USA Today. Woman spreads Ebola virus 1 year after infection in Liberia. How could this be? If what they're saying is true, how could this be? When you take this with the article we showed yesterday, where they said they gave the inoculation, the vaccine, to 90,000 people, and this tiny, tiny, tiny group of that 90,000 developed Ebola, how could they use those numbers unless they can positively affirm that all 90,000 of those given the inoculation, the vaccine, were exposed positively and affirmatively after they got inoculated, to prove that the vaccine kept them from developing the virus? They can't, and it would be a tacit admission, like I've said before, of the virus transmitting in ways other than they are describing. So, whatever snake oil kind of remedy you want to use to make your life better, if it makes you feel better and it is making you healthier, please, by all means, use whatever you want. But don't delude yourself in thinking because, well, I drink colloidal silver every single day, or I drink green tea or licorice or what the hell ever else, that you will be protected any more than the average person from something like this. Because the facts completely on the ground disprove what they're trying to make you believe about it. So I will leave it there with this video. But do understand that unless you're looking at this with a critical eye and understanding what this means, you're going to be at risk. So I guess we will leave it there. Like, share, subscribe.